This is not church.
Not the Crips Reds.
Man.
Okay.
Hey, look who's back. He brought the England spirit back with him. Welcome back, man.
The amount of time it took him to get home, he could have swam across the Atlantic, but it's okay.
It took me an amazing race to get home in 2 days. But anyway, that's a different story. But I'm happy for you guys. Your team won the FA Cup in England, and I was over there in England, so the atmosphere was totally. Thank you. Great.
Yes,
it was awesome, wasn't it? Now I did say to you guys that they were going to win. I did say that.
You did. But I had some doubts because of certain players that I don't want to talk about because you get a little defensive about them. But I'm happy that they did what they needed to do on the pitch.
Being there, I think Man United fans were surprised they won.
Well, everybody was surprised they won.
Everybody was surprised. Even the manager. Yeah. We beat the greatest football team in the world.
I was astonished that he said that. I was like, okay.
But everybody was. It was kind of weird. Everybody was saying it. Everybody was saying that Man City was the best football team in the world. They were saying that because I was in this other pundits and they were saying all sorts. I'm like, okay.
But you can't be the best team in the world if you don't win the European Championships, sir.
There you go.
That was weird to me.
Yeah, they're great, but they wasn't the best team in the world.
Right.
And did you notice I guess in England, when the team loses in the final, all the fans are gone of the losing team.
They disappeared.
And then for the next half an hour, the winning fans are just singing. And it's like empty over here.
But what was crazy was I was listening to one of the commentators when Man City was going to get their medals. Was like, they're going to receive the loser medals. Like, what?
We were talking about that.
Yeah, but Haaland, he took his off.
Yeah.
Haaland took his off.
He took it, and the other guy, I forgot his name, he took his off as well.
Bernardo Silva, I think. They took him off. Yeah, so what? Before she goes, because I know she's going to be sleeping too. I just saw my sister a couple of days ago, Deborah. She's in England watching the show. So with her doing that, and maybe I might have some other family members from England coming up. Please.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. Debbie. Love you. Subscribe. Push the button. Push it.
Slide over so you come out the frame.
I know.
There you go. Come over.
And push the like button. Push the like and subscribe and share it.
There you go. Come over.
Please. Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, man. But other than that, man, it was a great weekend. I mean.
Good evening, James.
This weekend has been phenomenal. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything about it was just beautiful.
Yes.
Rupert's like, huh?
Huh?
I guess it wasn't beautiful. Okay, Rupert, I guess it wasn't beautiful for you.
No, I'm a little sad today. One of my parents' heirlooms they left me got broken, so I was a little bit sad.
Mm-hmm. Did you break
somebody broke? I had an heirloom given to me by my parents. Both my parents are gone, and they gave me this African bowl.
Oh.
And it got dropped and broken. And so I'm kind of sad because I don't have too much left from them. I had 3 things that I had, and all I have left now is like my dining room set, which is great, but it's broken up and it may have to go soon too. But I may have to now I may have repair it because I don't really have anything of heirloom that I have from my parents. So
okay.
That's kind of sad. But other than that, the weekend was good. It was Memorial Day. I had a family outing yesterday. My wife and my family, they came over and we celebrated. Not everybody, because her side of the family's got like 6,000 people. Mine has 12.
Sounds like mine. Sounds like mine. What did you do the weekend? It was so beautiful. Sounds like mine, bro.
It says 6,000.
So yeah, but other than that, it was great. How was yours, guys' weekend? How was your weekends?
Oh man, it was great. What did I do? Oh, I was off since Thursday, so it's been a beautiful little staycation. And then
preached again.
Oh yeah, preached again on Sunday. But Saturday I was was able to go to his lovely granddaughter's birthday party
Yeah.
on Saturday. And then after that, my wife and I hung out. Oh, went to our favorite place called Rita's. It's Rita season.
Rita's Ice?
Rita's Ice?
Yes.
That's
I
your
thought you
favorite
talk about
place.
a restaurant.
Oh, man. No, Rita's Ice, man. That's our favorite place.
No,
Just
that's
go,
beautiful.
just go get some of that. And Sunday,
Okay.
priest came home, relaxed, and the day we
Because we
hung
did
out.
that as a family.
Yeah.
Did you share the ice? Did you have one ice and you shared it together?
No, she had hers, I had mine. We don't share, buddy. No.
Oh, y'all greedy. All right.
No, nobody greedy. You just don't do that. Come on.
I was like, why would you do that?
I know.
But
Come
anyway,
on.
yeah. Of course, everyone knows about mine. I was up there in England with my family, my mom and my family, and happy birthday, Aria. We sang. That's good about social media. The good part is that I could sing happy birthday to her and see her, and I've been doing all that. And of course, that same night, my sister Deborah, she had a party for me to meet all the rest of my family.
Ooh.
Yes, like I said, last I got 6,000, and I got 14. So they all came. So, but it was great. And apart from the flight coming back, that's different. So, but anyway,
Well, on the flight, did you see security on the flight?
security, TSA. Jesus.
Well, the reason I asked that because tonight we're going to be talking about that thing, security. We're going to be talking about modern day security in the church, which is different from TSA, of course. Well, sometimes I think church need a TSA, but that's another story by itself. But tonight, we're going to talk about security. We've seen multiple incidents that's been happening in today, which we've never seen before.
Before we do that,
Yes.
Of course, it's Memorial Day also, right?
Yes.
Am I right? So
Yes.
Thank you, Deborah, for reminding us also. Hi, y'all.
Yeah, for those who served,
Yep.
definitely salute those who've served
Yes,
in
we
our
do.
armed services. And
Exactly.
I think in England they called it
It was bank holiday.
right.
It was a bank
Oh,
holiday,
James
but we had
Howell.
like we had
Shout out
Poppy
to
Day.
James Howell.
Poppy Day.
Right. Oh, and
James-
James Howell,
James
thank you for your service. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
James.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, James.
So, looking at security in the church, is it needed? Yes or no? And we're going to talk about why. So, we're fortunate enough to have
No. Go ahead.
we're fortunate to have two people who currently serve on their church security. And I have to say, this one here is the head of our security team at our church. I know he's not going to talk about how good he is. I'm going to talk about how good he is.
I know.
The man is dynamic. He has a great team that serve under him. And we do the best we can to keep our pastor, our first lady, and the congregants safe and the general surrounding community. So we'll talk more about that. And go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
There's
What
no
you-
need for church security. I've got Jesus.
And that's the reason.
That's the reason why we got
We
you.
don't need security. Jesus is a way maker. Jesus.
Yes.
He's a-
Well,
Church
but yeah, we
security
do
have
have
no
Jesus.
But that's a common answer, though, Rupert.
That's
I
a
mean,
common-
but
yeah.
that's real.
That's real.
That's
Well,
common.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the thought of 50 years ago, 25 years ago, right? What did people think about church and security? What was the thought process? Or maybe we can get into
I
the,
would say that
the
back then,
islands, the
back
culture.
then, people respected the church more.
Mm.
You didn't see a lot of stupid stuff happening in the church back then like you do today. I mean, back then, the church had a sense of reverence. When you walked into the church, you knew what to do. That in case I've heard of people who walked by the church, may have been drunk, but when they got by the church, they stood up straight. Once they got past the church, they're back to their craziness again. Not today, man.
And even saying that, it's that people's mindsets back then was just different than today, because we went for church. Now, I'm not saying, because of course, there's been a few moments back in them church where they would have fights in church. A deacon would fight somebody or angry with the pastor. But then it's that, and it's not like lingering on or they leave or whatever. But the violence, I think that's the word. The violence that people come to church because they want to get their point heard, or they mad at the pastor because the pastor didn't do something for them, what they thought they were in liberty to do. But of course, mental health is totally different from then and from now. It's more common now. I'm not saying we didn't have it back then. I'm sure we did, because it's still happening now. But
he has jet lag, everyone. He still has jet lag.
The Scorpion lady's here.
He may repeat himself.
Right.
So here's a man who done well service as a military man himself. He's saying Simon's the best security person UCJC's ever had.
And James know what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about.
Hey, I don't have any records to prove or disprove.
But on a serious note, because we've seen incidents that happen. Actually, we do have one video clip that we can show you real quick. You may have seen this. This has been circulating on CNN, local news, wherever you may be. And I'll let you roll the clip.
And God had chose.
This is the heart-stopping moment. Police say 26-year-old Bernard Polite walks toward the pastor at a North Braddock church and points a loaded gun at him during Sunday's afternoon service.
He pulled the gun, it clicked. You heard him shoot it. It clicked. So God jammed the gun so that the bullet didn't come out.
Pastor Glenn Germany walked us through that terrifying moment as he was giving the sermon at Jesus' Dwelling Place Church. The small congregation had about 25 parishioners, including Germany's daughter, when he says the man walked from the back of the church to the front pew.
He stood up and he smiled.
Okay, right there.
And it was just
right there.
Here, and then all of a sudden, that's when
just stop right there. Keep pointing that sentence right there. He walked from the back of the church to the front. Had this church had security in place, security could have been able to stop the situation before it got to where it was.
Or they could have attempted. So we're not going to just say that just because you have security, that things are not going to happen.
Correct.
Because things might still happen.
Correct.
But security can also be a part where you can stop events from happening if you see it early.
Right.
Depending on what kind of security that you have. And I think what you said earlier, as we had a chat early on, Rupert, was sometimes the size of the church. Sometimes the size of the church, you may not have security.
Not at that level, right? I mean,
exactly.
Every church today has some sort of security, people looking, but not at that level where the person is dedicated to pay attention, right? Now that story, the guy walked up. Again, we don't know how. There's only 25 people. The guy said, 25 people were in there. I don't know what was going on. It looked like he was beginning to do his sermon. He may have thought the person was coming to the altar, right? And there is that fine line, right? There's that fine line between, is he coming to the altar or is he coming to do something? I mean, how do you handle that as security? Because what if you tackled him? He was like, I want to just get my Bible.
To your point, that's a good statement, because there's another church in the Baltimore area which has a large congregation where one of the members of the church got up by the pastor and was about to take a hammer. Well, actually, I think he did.
He got, and hit him.
Now, he has a lot of security at that church. However, this was a member of the church, someone you wouldn't have thought that would do something like that. So that's another thing of observance.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Rupert.
No, I'm saying, but that's the thought, right? How do you? I mean, training, of course, but there's only so much training can do, because there still is that level of, this is church. This is the okay. Let's take a step back, and then we have some people asking some questions or something. Let's take a step back before we get to them.
Okay.
25 years ago, and we talked a little bit about this pre-show, right? 25 years ago, Rupert Johnson, they came to his father. We want to give, you need an adjutant. What he's an adjutant for? What do you mean, Elmer Bear? Come on, man. My dad is fine, right? We've got, and I said, we has Jesus on his side. He'll be fine. He'll be protected. How did you answer that question to people that were like me 25 years ago? Why does he need this type of security? Why do pastors need security? Why do they need an entourage? How would you answer that question 25 years ago? Today may be different, but how would you answer that question 25 years ago?
But you see, like 20 years ago, the reason, even at that church, my security consisted of teenagers, boys that was in the church. We're trying to mentor them to do work, and the mothers wanted to do that. So it was like more parking lot, and seeing how situations for the young boys would do when being in charge of doing something. And then we go in church, and generally we went into church. It wasn't necessarily for security level what we do now. They were just in church because the mothers, the grandmothers, they wanted to see their boys in church. And so doing that part of security, when we say security, parking lot duty, that was great. And I had a great team. And then as the years go by, the level of security was being different, because I did have a situation where a young man wanted to go into church, and he wanted to go fight somebody, and someone called me out, and I'm going out then, and homeboy ripped his shirt off. he was really angry. He was really angry. And I came out, and but then I just told people, let me talk to him. Okay, we good. Let me talk to him. And I was able to talk him down, but not talk at him, but talk with him. What's the issue? Well, what's the problem? You've never done this with me before. We've had chats and all that. So sometimes you can de-escalate, and there's other times where you're going to need help, or things may just get out of hand. It's just that right now, the team that we have, we just do the best that we can, and it's all eyes. It's all eyes. You have to see people, what they look like, how they fidget, and just like you said, Rupert, there's so much training that you can do, but at the same time, when you train, you have to do real life training.
There you go.
Real life training. So in the church, and people go, why are you going to do it? Well, you have to do that separate from the church. Your team will go out and you do real life training and see what would you do in this situation? Because if you don't, it might never happen that way. Question? What?
No, is this? I think it's just Esther.
I think what you said that Mark said. Yeah.
Right. District, like, people generally respect the life more in days gone by. There's such a disrespect and lawlessness on display now.
Right.
And that's true. But let me play devil's advocate, though, right?
Go ahead,
The danger that is at the door, right? Somebody may say, well, if the level of spirituality is there, the usher is going to be somebody who's going to discern it. There's going to somebody who's going to see it before that person even gets in, blah, 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 so forth and so on. As you being security folks, how would you respond to that?
So repeat your question one more time.
Somebody may say, hey, if the spirit is in that church, the persons at the door should be able to discern it, should be able to see it before they even get through those doors and walking down that aisle. So as U.S. security people, how would you respond to that?
You see, that's where you can't. It's like a trap. That's like a trap question, because yes, we do. We supposed to have discernment. We said we love Jesus. We love that. But there are just plenty of churches. How many churches have they've been in the spirit and a fight will break out in church? I mean, what do you say? I mean, someone's going to break that fight up. And generally, who's going to break the fight up? A grandmother in the church, because she going to speak in tongues and rebuke you while she breaking it up.
Right.
But maybe back then, it's not saying we don't have no faith in Jesus. We don't have no faith in God, because everyone on my security team, we church. It's difficult sometimes to be on duty and not on duty, because sometimes when the church is on fire, I just say to my team sometimes, if you got to go, and when I say go in the spirit or whatever, just do it, and we got your back, because we can't hold the spirit. We can't quench it. I don't have no power to tell someone you can't go in no spirit. That could be your moment. So, but yeah, it's true. It's That's always will be a catch question. The answer, I guess you just have to be respectful.
And someone just texted me, of course, they're having issues trying to get on. They said, didn't Peter have a sword when he was with Jesus in the garden?
He cut somebody's ear off, didn't he?
Peter was Jesus' security.
Yeah. He was his adjutant.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to get to the word on that one, y'all.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hold up.
Hey, Rupert.
Word.
Wait, look, turn around. Don't we have swords too?
That's right. We have swords too.
Let me not cause that trouble. Here we go. Brother Randall, our buddy Brother Randall says, I remember years ago when someone came to church possessed with something and tried to hit Bishop with a 1-2 punch. I've never seen Uncle Simon move so fast in that situation. It was wild. Where's Bishop? Bishop Jr.? Someone tried to hit Bishop Jr.?
No, they didn't hit him.
But they tried to?
Yeah. See, this is our conversation that we have with security.
Yeah.
When Bishop or any bishop moves around, the question is, and we of course we don't want to make Bishop Jr. uncomfortable or whatever. And if it is, he'll probably tell us. But you can when he's walking and he's going into the congregation, we can't be too far away from him. That's a choice. We can't tell him not to do it or whatever. So we go with it. So it's happened to Bishop and Lady Wynn. Someone wants to swing. There's training parts what you have to pick up, and it's when they get that close, you have to watch their hands, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only certain things you can do, and we can't say we can stop everybody or we the greatest security team in the world and nothing's ever going to happen. But you always got to be ready and prepared. So,
because I remember one 8 o'clock service where this gentleman had his trench coat on.
Yeah.
And he was coming down the aisle, and I had to be up at the top so I could watch him. And as he was coming down, I said, this guy looks kind of strange. But the way he took his coat off, he was just taking on really slow, but he was fine. But it has made you have more of a heightened alert, just his whole body language as he was coming in really slow. And the slow moving and taking off his trench coat. I'm like, then when he sat down, I'm like, okay, everything is good. But being observant like that, because it could have been something completely different. You just never know.
So let me give you my one church security situation. So my sister's on here, so she could vouch for this. So this was years ago. My dad was alive. We had a gentleman that come in that was mentally had some mental health issues. Right in the middle of our anniversary service, he stood up and started yelling at my father. Yelling at Bishop Johnson, Bishop Rupert Johnson Sr. And I forget where I was positioned, but what I did was I just stood close to him just to see what's going on. And I said to him, hey, calm down. I said, hey, he wouldn't, he just kept yelling. So I jacked him up. I just I on my shoulder. I was walking. This is when I was a young boy. This is when I had some guts and some muscles. I just didn't even think about it. I picked up. I'm dragging the church. He's trying to hold on to pews and everything. Little did I know, one of our members, her son was a sergeant in the police force. So when I got him outside, he came and he diffused the whole situation. He let the guy know, I'm gonna lock you up. I'm not joking. He's talked him down. So even then I saw that there's a need to pay attention.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because even though we're in the church and we are of the church and we are of the body, there are people that are outside the body, and there is an adversary who wants to disrupt everything.
Right.
Yes.
And he can disrupt it any way he can, and you're not prepared to handle the disruption, there could be trouble. So I totally agree with security. I just wanted to ask some questions.
No, you can be the advocate because the questions are coming up now.
Right.
Because what we truly believe also is that the pastor, bishop, whoever of that church don't need to worry about anything that's happening outside. You don't have to know about it at all.
No.
We just take care of it. He preach and do or no, they don't really need to take that's what we do.
Right.
That's what we're supposed to do as much as we can.
And just before you read that next question, we have a major thunderstorm going on in this area. So if by chance we lose power, Rupert, you have to do the show by yourself tonight. Because right now it is storming outside. So it's only to the audience. We disappear. It's not that we wanted to be gone. It's just that
Security.
Security.
Church security.
All right, you can read the next one from my lovely wife. Go ahead, Rupert.
People are angry and just targeting the church. Sometimes they may be fixated on the pastors or members in general. And that's from another dedicated listener.
And you know what? She has a point because, and I'll let him talk more. Yeah. There was a woman at our church, for whatever reason, she had an issue against our first lady. And she went down towards our first lady and wanted to attack her. Of course, Simon intervened. But even with that, with him intervening, some members of the congregation were upset to the fact that we took her out the church.
And I know I'm jumping to the question, but like Chris Silas, he said responding is key. Response comes with training and communication.
Why is he jumping?
Because I just told you we're going to jump. Now we're still going to go back up there because, hey, look.
But back to what I was talking about.
Oh, my bad. You know what? I'm still 5 hours ahead. I'm still 5 hours ahead. I'm my bad. Let me go back.
That's the problem.
But it was a part of the question. But communication, response, and training is way, way key. Go ahead. Oh, we read that.
Now. Here we go.
Oh, I haven't seen this question before. Let me see. Responding is key. Response comes with training and communication.
And Chris, welcome. He's one of our brothers at one of our sister churches.
Yes.
God bless you, man, for being on with us tonight.
Thank you, Chris.
Amen.
And yes, me and Chris, we've had conversations also about security, and that comes with Rupert. Because keep throwing them off because as much as what's the word? As much as people will, there'll always be people who would advocate, we don't need no security. We don't need no security. Just, and he's like, okay, then you worry about your church. Okay, you worship and do whatever you want. And then next minute, you know, someone's bothering you and you're going to want someone to help you. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is another one that Anita brought up a few years ago. A news showed a clip of someone punching a pastor in the face during altar call. The pastor was probably under the impression he was making his way up to prayer. Yeah, we talked about that, right? The distinction between are they coming to really receive something or to get something out? And that's a question that, you know, as you were saying, Mark, sort of going the trench coat, you have to pay attention. And even I think now, I know as a pastor, if I see a stranger come in, I pay a little bit more attention, right?
Yes.
The person, what they're doing, where they're sitting, are they're looking around because of things that have happened recently in the last 3 or 4 years in church that you didn't hear about 15, 20 years ago. You might have heard of people fighting. You heard of members fighting in the parking lot, members arguing, this, that, at funerals, things going on with families. But you never heard of somebody coming in and actually bringing a gun in or shooting people. That was a very rare situation that you heard that.
And that's when we say communication. That's why, I mean, like churches, when you're like a bigger church, that's when you have walkie-talkies. So in other words, someone strange comes in or looks kind of iffy, you get on the walkie-talkie and let everybody know. So everyone knows that situation right away.
And not only that, security is not there just to look at situations like that for emergency situations where someone can be having a medical emergency.
Exactly.
Security should know exactly how to handle that and be in proper positions.
By calling an ambulance, having a way for the ambulance to get in and having to wait to get out without trying to disrupt the church as much as possible. So all them avenues are things that you got to think about all the time. You just can't not think about it no more. So
no, you're right. Okay, here's another one for you guys. So Deborah Johnson, yes, I know her very well.
Who is she?
Deborah. What you say? What you say? Who that?
So can the security team enjoy and participate in service? You kind of spoke to that. If they're watching out for the past and the saints, can they enjoy church? So
now that was Deborah. I love you. But that's great. This is our security team. You never close your eyes.
Never.
No.
Not while praying.
Not while praying.
Nothing.
No. They do not close their eyes. It's always watchful or whether, because you can't be standing next to the bishop and you got your eyes closed. And right now, someone get ready to mug him. But I'm praying. I'm praying he don't hit you, Lord. I'm praying he don't hit the back. It's not going to go like that. But it's just observation, communication, and just like we probably keep talking the same thing over and over again. But as Deborah was saying, sometimes the church service would be like cranking. We'd be up there, woo, and you want to go for a shout, and you want to do this. But that's why if you have a good sized team, you can cover. But if you don't, like we were talking earlier, it's different. Yeah. And it is really difficult sometimes not to really get into it because you're on duty. On duty is being on duty. Mm-hmm. And if you make a mistake and something happened, the first thing they say, what was security doing?
Exactly.
That's the first thing you're going to get. Mm-hmm. What was security doing? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, so Esther came back kind of saying what you're saying, right? Watch and pray. You need the spiritual and the natural to respond to heated situations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So she's kind of bringing in a little different kind of flavor, right? She's saying that not only do you need security, but you also need prayer. We all agree on that, right?
Yes,
there's still a sense of
no doubt
prayer, because even security has to worry because you don't want security getting hurt. And
exactly.
they're putting themselves in the way sometimes of danger. And you don't want them getting hurt either. They're your brother and sister too. So you have to pray over the whole entire thing. Right. And I think I also want people to understand, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, right? We're not just talking security for the pulpit. We're talking about security for the church.
Congregation
in general.
Right?
Yes.
So it's not about it's not just about the pastor or the leaders. It's about individual, because sometimes somebody could have a dealing outside, a disgruntled wife, a disgruntled husband.
And it's happened.
Yes.
Yeah,
where someone will come to me and say, Brother Simon, can I talk to you for a second? And we go out and we talk, and they will say, yes, we have a situation, and I would not like them to come in or whatever, because right now, and just let us know up front. We've had it once.
It was a custody situation.
Yeah, I had a conversation outside. And it was okay. So sometimes it's how you talk to people, how you respond to people, and not trying. And you can't go up and say, you ain't coming into church today. Nah, not today. I know what it's all about. I've had you can't respond like that no more. It has to be a different level of response.
Right.
Like I say, it might not work all the time, but the majority of the time that it will. But that's a great question.
And as you know, Rupert, our campus is large.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people come for a reason. They think they can just do whatever, walk their dogs, do stupid stuff. We have incidents where people just leave their cars.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a way of approaching to make sure approach. You saw that flicker? It was a flicker. Just let you know it might happen.
Right now.
That's right. But it's all about knowing your surroundings, knowing how to approach people, and also knowing who to call in a situation.
And at the same time, we do appreciate our congregation.
Absolutely.
We appreciate because they know. The only things they don't know, I mean, we haven't we've been to a drill or something that we got to do, but our congregation is very good at complying. It's not compatible.
Yeah.
It's not so whatever. So hopefully that's the way we talk, how we act, how we do things. So we still got to be good and kind and talk to people, whoever you are,
right,
in church or out of church.
Exactly.
So Brother James said, security in the church today is definitely different now. How do you handle what we are seeing today? So his question is, okay, guys, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The way you talk about it is how you handle it. So how do you handle it? How do you handle Rupert Johnson coming in and saying, yo, man, I'm going to smash your head. I'm going to do this. How do you handle me?
This is
I'm
a
not
joke.
A small guy.
Huh?
I'm not a small guy. How do you handle
we have a couple of short security people. One will go down low, the other go up high.
For a start.
Good old form tackle, bro.
For a start. But no, that is great.
That's a good
because it doesn't matter sometimes how strong we may be or how athletic we may be or whatever. Some people are just bigger than us and they're going to just challenge you by whatever. But that's where teamwork comes in. If you have a team.
Have you have a team?
Of course, it's different if you don't have a team.
Right.
But if you have a team, that's where teamwork, communication, training, that's where all that comes in. And sometimes when I guess I mentioned it before, when you have live training, where you can handle someone, and if Rupert comes in, Mark, go down low. I'll knee you in the back. I'll pick up your glasses for you and just say no hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
And just tell you drive back to New Jersey.
And go live stream, bro.
And go live stream. But all jokes,
No, but what you said is true because
yeah.
Security today is, I mean, situations we see today we've never seen before. And every day is something new. Hey, this is a nice time to give a loud shout out to our security team and express our appreciation. And we're going to say, you're welcome.
Thank you. But you know,
what's wrong, Rupert? A little salty there, bro. You look a little salty.
What, you 5 hours behind?
Got a little salty there, man.
Oh, God. Go ahead. Finish your comments.
But you know what? Just like you were saying, Rupert, some churches are on a different level when it comes to security.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some of them will come in uniforms, and some of them are gifted and blessed that they have police officers, that they have security officers. So you know that they well drilled, they well covered. And it also helps if you have a security room, if you have security cameras,
monitors,
and and all that stuff. So that level, not everyone doesn't have that level, and some may have half that level, and some don't have that level at all. So we're not saying that everybody should have, because some churches just can't.
But back to your point earlier, you said training and communication.
Yes.
If you get the proper training and education, you can develop a good security team.
Because even right now, I look at a whole lot of security scenarios, issues, training, reading on how you do this, reading on how you do that. And even in our team, we have a couple of team members who are professional at what they do. Whether it said, how do I say that? No, they're professional in what they do,
right? And
they're good at it too. And when you say security, it's security.
Yeah, they're trained. They're trained.
Oh, let me still, since he's been away, we want to thank you all for putting your comments and questions. Please keep them coming.
And keep pushing the button.
There you go.
Like, subscribe, and please share.
Amen.
Please share.
Right.
You're all doing a great job.
So we got a lot. Let's try to get them.
Yes.
Oh man, we got.
Well, 8, 10 already.
Wow. So let's get to the ones we have up here. Okay.
The world has changed quite a bit. Many things now call for tighter security, much like flying changed after 9/11. Yes, but I bring out the question. Oops, I brought that in. But I bring out the question. I bring out the question: has Jesus changed?
No, but people have. People have. Jesus haven't changed. People have.
So
people are bold. People are more brazen now. But I mean, they're stealing cars out the church parking lot now. Come on,
Rupert. People shout in church and go in the parking lot afterwards and lay you out.
Exactly.
They just shouted.
Come on.
And some of them will even do that before they go into church. And then you standing up there doing security, and you feel like you want to go tackle them, going, no. You just said this to me, blah, blah, blah. And now you do. But I mean, what is that? People can change quick. So who are we to judge?
Right.
Life is changed.
Here we go.
Life has changed.
Oh, so.
Here comes Anita. So, of course, she's the one who brings this up, right? Listen. Should security teams be equipped with firearms and maybe handcuffs? Boy, she wants to put you in jail.
Well, look at it this way. Remember, the level of security is been raised. So if a guy comes in with a gun and you have spray, who's winning? Who's winning? And it's not a matter of fact of who's winning, but now, okay, people are licensed. People have permits.
Yes.
People have to do it like the legal way.
Right.
Yes.
And to our point, because churches have to acknowledge that you have that particular firearm and you have to be insured by the church. You can't just roll up in church and say, I got a gun. Okay, that's fine, but you can't come in here with it.
Exactly.
And as far as handcuffs go, we don't have actual handcuffs. We have those plastic.
They're handcuffs. They're the plastic ones that you can
yeah.
put on the wrist. But I mean, obviously, that's for someone who's really going out and who really wants to wrestle everybody. And you do this until the law enforcement comes. And let people know that if you have to do security work, we still have to document it.
Absolutely.
And we still have to report it.
Absolutely.
So it's not like we going in there like
the Wild Wild West.
Like the Wild Wild West or something like that. And you come in that church, we're gonna throw you down in that, and not just that church.
Any church.
You still have to, whether you withdraw your handgun or something. Why did you do that? What was your reason? So it's not just you going in there with the Wild West. There's liabilities that we got to think about too. So we got to be careful.
All right. What's next?
There's a lot of questions. I have a thought, but let's
I know you do.
Other stuff.
Oh, don't hurt
What are
yourself.
the qualifications? Stop. There's our producer doing this to me. Let me pause. Let me pause. I'm getting to that, man. All right, here we go. What are the qualifications for security? What are the qualifications for security team members?
Well, first of all, you need to be saved.
Yeah. Full of the Holy Ghost. No. The qualifications.
Is that true though? Saved?
It helps.
Full of the Holy Ghost?
It helps.
But is it a must?
Yeah, but what I like about that question is, does membership require you to be a member for a year or a couple of years before you can take part? Because now people hire security just to come in. Exactly. They hire them to come in.
That's it.
Whatever. Like I said, some churches are blessed that they have police officers. So they can do that. But the requirements, I don't have a degree or whatever, but I've been to classes. I've been to training. I try and do my best. And if I'm not, I'm sure the team will kick me out because I got some professionals on my team also.
But what are your feelings about, one, being a member of the church, two, being filled with the Holy Ghost, or at least, a member in good standing? What is your feelings about that? Because if we're trying to discern and trying to be smart and trying to do this, we know certain spiritual things can't be seen by natural eye, right? So what is your thought on that? Is that something that you look for, Simon and Mark, that you look for, that in our world, it may not be every church, but in our world, is that something that you look for? Say, look, man, you need these. I love the fact you're a police officer. I love the fact you're a military guy. You've got training. You know what to do. But I need you to get this before I can put you here. Is that something that you really think about?
And we've had on our team that are like that they've been coming. And what our bishop likes is when you join, be a part of the organization, be a part of a team, do whatever you want to do or whatever. So when they come up, yes, they can ask. Now, I remember this was one convocation. This guy, they says, we need volunteers to help Simon at convocation. This was in North Carolina. Remember that big rain we had? That huge rain?
Oh, yeah, the parking lot. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, everything. So they asked for volunteers. So, yeah, okay. And I says, just send out a message. Whoever wants to be a volunteer, meet me on the parking lot, where I usually wait for the bishops. So a guy comes up. Yeah, I come to volunteer for being security. He had fatigues on, man. Oh, I'm looking at him. I'm trying my best to say, what kind of church you think this is, man? What do you think you're going to do?
He's a warrior.
G.I. Joe. Yeah, G.I. Joe warrior, yeah. But the thing was, right, he was very rigid. And all I know is that I'm not asking my team to be rigid, but smile, talk to people. The more you talk to people, the more you can get involved. And I'm not saying they won't do nothing, but the less that they'll think about doing is just get involved. So the team, and I know that's one of Bishop's, it's teamwork. You got to know your members. Look who's coming into church. Greet everybody. Talk to everybody. I mean, this is, as you said, our church. So it does help to be a member of the security team than you coming in and you saying, hey, look, I can be a great part of your team. I have 2 rifles. I got a handgun. I got a bow and arrow in my car. I can be a good asset for you.
I'm a
exactly.
In a Uzi.
Yes. So,
in a Uzi.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But let's go on. But that's a real good thought. So because they have to remember, they don't represent security, but they also represent the church that they're security.
Yes,
that they're security for, right?
Absolutely.
So
exactly.
if they do bad, if they get on the news, transformations on the news for the wrong reason, right?
Exactly.
We do have difficult situations during funerals. Your thoughts? I don't think it's any different from the church. I think you do have difficult, but now you're dealing with families sometimes. That's even more difficult.
That's about it. Just about family.
Most times with that is you dealing with emotions.
Yeah.
How they feeling for that day. So you still gotta be respectful. They still do things. You like but funerals is difficult.
Yeah. Most of the time, the funerals I've been at have been pretty much under control. We haven't seen anyone where they fought or anything like that. I mean, they've been kind of loud in the parking lot, but nothing. Was
no, we haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ken, who came on a half hour late, missed
half hour late. Yes.
And my throw questions up.
Let's just say, listen to the first 30 minutes of the show, and you can get this answer. Hey man, thank you so much.
There you go. Yeah, that's right.
But wait a minute. Put that back up again, because he's. Remember any from conventions of you? Whoa! What went wrong and when? Now, even Rupert will know this. I've been on the security team, even when Rupert's dad was alive, with all the older bishops. I've been on security since then. Now, before that, he said the 80s and 90s.
I don't know.
I don't know about the 80s.
To be honest, right? That's what we started this question on, right? That's why my first pond it, right, was, back 25 years ago, 30 years ago, we didn't have this issue, right?
Exactly.
We ordered that things have changed because now mental health issues, people don't fear the church as much. We kind of answer those kind of questions that why this has changed. And even I who was a skeptic says now this is needful. So, we have that. So, but we can kind of reiterate it on our close up. This is just Uncle Simon. Who is this?
Whoa. Who's Sweat or Small Fitness? Please let me know who your name is or what. It's scary. Sweat. But anyway, so it says Uncle Simon. I love you too. Thank you. Sweat or Small.
He has a good point. It is scary.
Yes, it is. It is scary.
It is, but it's needed, right? Right.
Because I thought that too. Is handgun in church? Really? I mean, now we don't need one. So, but thank you, Sweat or Smile Fitness. Please let me know who you are.
This is kind of true, right? Maybe we can start with mace. But you were saying, right, spraying mace versus a gun may not work, right? And or tasers would work.
No, so okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Mace, there's no problem with mace because the only thing is when you mace somebody, other people can get caught with mace too.
Oh yeah, they're going to get. Yeah, I was going to say they're going to be.
But next
will flow.
Yeah, but mace is not is a bad thing. And she said another thing also is tasers. Tasers. Now see when you shoot a taser, okay, you got to make sure when you shoot that taser that you don't hit somebody else. Because tasers just don't go straight. They go two ways.
Be training. You're like anything, right? There's going to be training how to shoot a taser.
Exactly.
But here's the problem that I would have even with firearms, right? We have to be careful because we're in the position of saving souls.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is our position. Regardless on what's going on, we're in the position of saving souls. And the most evil person can still be saved, right?
Yeah.
And that why how does this question pop up again? And our issue is that we need to make sure that even those that are in security or doing security detail understand that also, because that person, we don't know why that person's doing what they're doing. Like Simon said, you want to de-escalate it, but we don't want to harm. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to injure.
And
we
as
want
they
to
would
help
say,
that person.
yeah,
right?
like you said with the handgun situation too, you can't just go out there like the Wild Wild West and just shoot, because there's always going to be crossfire. What is he? We can't give Simon a pew pew.
What he's saying is you just can't go like this time when somebody pulls a gun. You can't go, hey buddy, pew pew.
Did I ever say that?
No.
Well, to Deborah's point, some security members are paid. It depends on the church they go to, and a lot of times security members is a volunteer basis. So
yeah,
it's up to the church that you attend whether they're going to pay you.
And remember that the higher Archie churches, they already have paid security. Or I don't know how they deal with in-house police force members, who sometimes will just be voluntarily on that day. I don't know how that works, but not a bad idea. But it's not going to stop me from working.
Right.
Okay, we got Bishop Carrington down below. We got one of our guests asking questions. We got to go through these.
Okay.
So, are there any organizations that do specialize in security training for churches?
Yes, he's done it before.
Yes, but more churches are doing it though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they just need to do it.
Here's our saying that virtual church is looking better. Okay, thank you, sir. Virtual church is looking better, but there's still, that even means there's more security needed because there's not as many people now coming to church. It gives people that are just sitting there, can make themselves look like they're wanting to be in church and causing an issue. Even laymen, e.g. on a plane, are applauded for doing whatever is necessary to restrain a combatant individual. Yes, that is true, but those are laymen. My sister, that's one of the things I was talking about. We want to be real careful because the security aren't laymen. Right? They are still spiritual brothers, and it's our obligation to make sure that we're good. Right?
Charlie Carey. Go ahead.
Bishop Carey.
Bishop Carey.
Okay.
Round two. Ding, ding. Okay. Yeah. The Kung Fu grip. Okay.
All right.
Remember, Bishop Carrington, the Kung Fu grip is for those who are over 50.
Right. Also, a shout out to Bishop Carrington. He's celebrating a birthday.
Well, this is my sister from England.
Okay, I'm just shouting out Bishop Carrington on his birthday.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy year, Bishop Carrington. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Birthday. Come on, let's give Bishop Carrington a round of applause for his birthday. Was our guest last week, or was last week?
Now, your beautiful sister.
Sweat or Smile is my sister, Maria.
No, it's your nephew.
Okay. It's your nephew. No, Maria is my sister. He's my nephew. And I met him for the first time.
And he's on the show watching. All right,
Sweat hands. So in his words, I gotta say it in his words.
Okay.
Simon, sweat and smile. Boy, okay. Just that's for him. He's Jamaican, English, and whatever. So yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it. First time saying to you.
Yes, we do. Yes.
And he's watching. So we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
What?
So,
4 minutes to go.
Right. So why do you think churches are such a target now?
Me?
In general, yes.
I think it's because they have church, like anything, right? There was so long where people were looking at leaders as untouchable. But now, because of the faults they have seen throughout media, and even so in themselves, the faults they've seen these leaders come through, now they're like, no, you're touchable. Right? Because I thought you were a man or woman of God, but because I see the fault, you're just like me. So I'm going to deal with you the same way I would deal with somebody in the street. Right? So I think that's become a big issue now. Because whereas in somebody, like we said in the beginning, somebody might be afraid back in the day to even enter church with that thought in their mind. They may wait outside, but they're not going to come in church. They may catch you at the supermarket, but they're not going to come in church. Now we hear people. We showed the one video. I've heard of a lady where the first lady was stabbed going to the bathroom. So that's why now you see adjutants and security walk with their leaders, even to go to the bathroom in their own church.
Right.
Because of what's going on. Walk into the car. We see all these things happening. And it's scary because the smaller churches, the ones like mine, right, they may not have the ability to get true security or someone trained. But now you've got to think about having your ministers and your deacons fall in those roles, because even though Jesus is prevalent there,
in prayer,
the enemy wants to also break down those walls. And if there were demons, and we talk about there back in the day, there was always been people possessed in the church, and you're now laying hands on them and praying. Well, they were there. Guess what? If they had a gun in their hand, they would do a lot worse.
Exactly.
What they did. So
I like what you said. Yeah, no, I like what you said about the teamwork. In other words, it's not just security. It's like ushers also.
Yes.
We got to see eye to eye here. Yeah. Hospitality. We got to talk to each other. You see something, just let us know or whatever. And if we see something, we'll let your head person know that we just saw something. So you tell your team, keep your eyes. So it's just not just security.
It's a shared thing.
It's just a shared thing of communication again. There you go.
And it's not new. I wish people would think that this thing is not new.
No.
Alabama, 3 young ladies, the bomb blew up in the Montgomery church. We act like it's not new. It happened during the civil rights movement. They were blowing up churches. Right? Where did Malcolm X die? He died doing a speech. They came in and shot at him. Right?
But we had someone who left their backpack in the seat and went to the bathroom. Let me tell you this. Our ushers were good. It was right away, Simon. They got a message to me, Simon. They came in with a backpack, and there's no one there. And he went out. He actually went to the bathroom and went to the backpack. He came. He just so happened to come down. I knew the 2 guys. They visited like 4 times a year or something like that. They were visiting, but he apologized. He said he didn't mean to do it, but he had to go to the bathroom. And he thought his friend was going to watch his backpack, but his friend went out on the phone. So things work like that, but things you just have to see.
Right.
So,
wow, guys, we are out of time.
Already?
We are
1 minute to go.
Time. Wow. We hope you guys were able to hear.
I didn't fall asleep.
Learn a lot. He said he didn't fall asleep.
I didn't fall asleep.
But no, security is a serious thing. People are serious. Church is serious. So we got to be mindful of our surroundings. And again, it's a joint venture.
Yes, it is.
It's not a one-man show. It's not a one-man show.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So stay tuned next week. We're going to get with you where our new show is going to be for next week, because it'll be our 31st show.
30.
We're having 30 shows already.
God.
Wow.
Time is moving.
Fine. So stay tuned next week, and you will hear us say,
"You're welcome."
You're welcome.
Woo!
Almost. No, we got it.
Wait, I gotta get out. I can't find the right thing. I can't find the right thing. It's missing.
We love you, viewers. We
All right, here we go.
love you.